Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Direct Engaging Virtual Chats, aka Dev Chats. I'm your host today, Creeper Betty, and here today joining us is Gustav Stenmark from Resolution Games. Thank you for joining, Gustav.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be speaking with you here today. I'm a huge fan. Resolution Games has been around since 2015 and amazingly have made many great AR/VR titles in a short amount of time. To name a few, we have Bait, Narrows, Glimped, Wonderglade, Akron, Angry Birds, and now Cookout. And yeah, woohoo! It was released on September 3rd on Oculus. But then we also have Blasting coming soon as well, which we can touch on a little bit later. So yeah, awesome. So with that being said, Gustav, let's get to know a little bit about your history first and the history of Resolution Games as well.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the games industry for close to 20 years, I think. I joined Resolution quite early after 6 months in the company. I've been a programmer and a producer. The job I did before for Resolution was at King, actually, where I worked together with our CEO Tommy Palm, one of the founders of Resolution. When we started Resolution, like early on, we saw this need for casual and more accessible games in VR. Most of the stuff out at that point was either space shooters or jump scare games, pretty much. So we wanted to do something different, and I had this idea of a fishing game I wanted to make, and I've been pestering Tommy about that for a few years, and then at Resolution they had started talking about how VR and fishing would be a good match. So Tommy called me up and asked me to join. So that was how I ended up at Resolution.
Nice.
So fishing was a big interest of mine, and I think that game was like a great way to show that VR can be something else.
Oh yeah, I love the fishing VR games too. Awesome.
Yeah, and so Resolution, hand in hand with that, like as we started Resolution, mobile VR started coming along. Before that, it was mostly PC-based VR. And since a lot of us came from the mobile industry, that felt like a perfect match for us. So Bait was actually a mobile VR game, and the next few titles we released were for mobile VR as well. And I think that was a great stepping stone into the VR we have now, because it was highly accessible for a lot of people. You bought the Gear VR headset, and then you can play with your smartphone that you probably already had.
Yeah.
So that was, and that's actually helped us now, because like the Quest, for instance, that's essentially a mobile VR headset. It's just so much better than those old 3 degrees of freedom headsets that
Oh my gosh.
came early. So the Quest
I had
is
like
great.
3 of those. I went through so many of those to try to find the best one.
Yeah. But then as like technology has moved forward, we have also seen this opportunity of trying out social VR and actually making multiplayer games. So that's been a big transition for us. And the last few games we've been releasing and are about to release are all multiplayer games first.
That's huge, because I don't think there's enough VR multiplayer games, and it's so much fun to emerge with your friends and work together as a team, So yeah, that's huge. That's definitely, I believe, a step in the right direction to grab that audience.
Even if you have friends in the room, you're kind of alone in VR, right? But as soon as it's a multiplayer setting, you have your
absolutely.
friends. You can have other friends. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with these days, and times, as you know, so you could be very social like we are right now.
Yeah.
So for those who do not know about Cookout, a sandwich tale, can you tell them a little more about what the game is about?
Yeah, sure, I can. So it's essentially it's social cooperative multiplayer game. You can play 4, 3, or 2 players, and you can also play the entire game alone with your eminent helper robot.
Robot.
Robot. Yeah, that's it. The robot.
The robot.
uh, and it's like I think there's a total of 50 levels or so, split up over 18 different towns on a map, and you need to progress. We introduce new game mechanics along the way, and you will encounter new um, ingredients and new customer types that have new demands on you. And eventually, the ultimate goal is to please the king and queen up in the
Oh.
castle. That's the end goal of the game. Then there's also
Oh.
like an endless mode where you can just push yourself. It's a bit more of a challenge. Like a group can get together and really try to see.
How
It
far
will
you
not
can
stop.
go.
Like until
That's fun. That's fun. I didn't know about the king and queen.
ah,
I'm not there yet.
they're tricky. It's hard to get there. Yeah, but you'll get there eventually.
The fun part is collecting all the little, knives and all the
Yeah,
tools and the stoves and stuff. I enjoy that and the cutting board.
yeah.
Who came up with the idea originally for Cookout? Whose idea was that?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, it's we've been talking about cooking as another really casual like a game genre that would work really well in VR, and with social VR that pretty much all fell into place. So can't really name a single person, but there's so many great cooking games out there. Like I love playing those, and
Oh, I do too.
so
All of them.
but it was something we wanted to try and make a cooking game, and we started prototyping early on, and it was pasta dishes and stuff. But then eventually we found that we shouldn't try and simulate cooking. We should try and simulate like the basic kitchen environment, the need to cooperate in order to get stuff to the customers.
Right.
So
Right.
and that's when we really like stuff started getting into place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
and
there's so
actually,
much.
like, yeah, I used to work as a chef professionally before I started making games. So I can actually say like the need for communication and the level of communication when you just shout like we need ham on fire. That's you will hear that in almost any kitchen among the line chefs. Like yeah,
So you nailed, yeah, and
it's
that's
more
how
like
we do it.
kitchen work. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, grilled cheese on 2. Quick, stat,
exactly.
hurry.
Yeah,
We got a
yeah,
cat on 3.
yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Um, so the single player is great. We mentioned that, earlier that you could play it by yourself, and it's
Yeah.
interesting to have Robbot helping you, and the multiplayer with friends is fantastic, especially when you get, in the smooth rhythm with your buddies. It's just
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun,
The good
and
flow, right?
yeah, I get that
Yeah,
good flow going, and
yeah,
you could do it with just random people too. Like I've
yeah,
hopped in there, and the next thing I know, I'm getting all these new goodies, and leveling up.
yeah,
I'm like, sweet, I just finished the whole first level, all 3 stars, because that I have to finish with all 3 stars.
yeah.
So we appreciate also, there's one other thing that was kind of that I wanted to touch base on. It was that we appreciated you making the game crossplay for Oculus so we can play with
Yeah.
our friends. Was that was that difficult to set up to
No,
create that
no,
crossplay?
not really.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's probably some developer that would not agree, but like we've been playing on Rift and Quest crossplay throughout the development process, pretty much. So that was not a big hurdle for us. And then it's
Oh,
just like having it uh, yeah. So and then of course it's in the multiplayer server as well, right? But no, that wasn't a big problem. It was an ongoing problem to make sure that everything synced the same way on different platforms. But,
Gotcha. That's good to hear, because usually that's kind of the difficult part, is getting that cross platform set up,
yeah,
especially
totally.
from
But since it's
Oculus.
between Oculus Rift and Quest, I imagine it was easier.
Yeah.
Use the same build, pretty much.
Do you think you'll ever go out to any other platforms?
Oh, we'd love to eventually. But now it's Oculus and especially the Quest. It's such a great headset.
Nice. I want to get back into the game a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
the details of it, and the variation of ingredients and the areas in the cookout are so well thought out and colorful and fun, and it keeps you on your toes, and it's nice to have that change of scenery when you change the maps. So, so who came up for the ingredients for each scene, or the stages for each stage? Like this.
So, I mean, we work the way we work. Like the team is pretty much 2-3 developer programmers, 1 or 2 3D artists, concept art, game designer, me, and then we worked a lot with Mike Booth. He's a former game director at Blizzard. He works with us as well. So we've been doing recurring playtest. He made the Left 4 Dead as well, I think, at another company. So
Wow.
he's a great guy, and he's been doing playtest with us recurring. So we would actually play and talk about the game design inside the game. But when it comes to the ingredients and stuff, I think what we typically do is we have a brainstorming in the team and get which ones pop visually. We also need some variation. Like you have 4 different ingredients in your fridge, but there's more than that total. So the players need to be able to, at a glance, distinguish one from the other, right? So we worked a lot with making sure that there was contrast and different colors.
Oh boy, and is it? Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a bit of a challenge actually, but it was it's very much a team effort, I would say.
Yeah, because the what is that? I think it's like a mayonnaise or something like that. I call it ranch. So and instead of mustard, because you really couldn't use mustard if you're doing cheese.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so those conflicts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you call it ranch. Yeah. Some people call it mayonnaise, others mustard, but I never heard ranch. Yeah.
Yeah, ranch dressing.
Yeah.
Okay, for my next question, and this is kind of huge for me because I need to know this, but is there going to be any future DLCs or areas, for new ingredients and new areas for the game?
You should keep your eye peeled on the game. There might be some. I can't say yes. I can't say no. You know how it is.
Oh my goodness! Yes, yes. I want to make a cake. I want cake. I want ice cream. We need sweets. Sweets.
We did prototype. We did prototype with cakes actually. Yeah.
You could
early in the
Cake
development.
Mania. Like, I mean, if you look at Cake Mania, it's there you go.
Maybe like a cake expansion would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we could chocolate, strawberries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, chocolate frosting.
With some exactly like the frosting. We have like you do the like with the spritz thing. Yeah.
Yep, you would have to do that right quick. The tubes, the tubes. Yeah, it would be such a blast.
No, that was actually one of the things we talked about was if you make a cake, everyone will work together on it, right? So that's in part why one of the gameplay elements in the game is striving for perfection. So some customers need perfect sandwiches, others will just be happy and tip you a bit extra. But so we created that mechanic of you need to stack the ingredients in the right order and like somewhat centered. and part of the reason was that in those situations, like all the players would come together and try to like help each other out and place the final ingredient before you serve it.
I love
and
it.
I've seen that happen in games, so or in the game. So that's I think we succeeded there.
I have a question about the beat. What's the deal with? I love when you throw the knives. It's not like brutal. It's like pretty little flowers come up.
Yeah.
So what's with the beat? I mean, is you just
Oh, you mean the radish dude?
the radish? Yeah, the radish guy. Yeah.
The radish guy, the radish dude. Yeah. So he that's his unofficial name, but that's the name he's had in the inside the team all along. That's a really good question. Like we're just playing around, adding stuff to the environment. Like I guess you've seen the self-feeding stove as well, and then this guy came along and everyone liked him. So as soon as he had some animations, we realized, but if you hit him, he can just move somewhere else and turn it into a little mini game, something to do while you're not playing. So and that's actually one of the things with the cookout that I think is bit interesting. Like we designed the game to be really intense when you play, but the idea is also that you should be able to hang out with your friends and like interact with the world and look around, and you should always find out something new, like the radish dude and tossing him. Did you notice the mouse?
Yes, that was my next thing I wanted to bring up was the mouse. I keep throwing at Cheese, hoping he would come out and snag it. I'm like,
exactly. Yeah,
we need to be able to throw cheese at him, and he needs to just come out and snag it.
Yeah. No,
and I want to go up the stairs and and the slippers. Yeah, everything. I love it. I love it. Love that house.
Did you notice that in the cookout world, ham is a vegetable as well?
Yes, they're on the trees. Ham are on the trees.
They grow on trees in the
ham grows on whenever you run out of and the carrots grow in the drawer. Yep, and the carrots grow in the cupboards and drawers.
Yeah, yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I have so much fun. We'll have to play together.
Yeah, I would love to.
I would love to play with you and and get Jason in there and whatnot.
That would be great fun. Yeah, I would love to do that with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so that leads me, I want to mention to you, which I thought was really cool, is Jason. He has, some difficulties and, disabilities. And with the game, you've made it accessible for all to play. It's great with the adjustment of the bar. You just put that up and down. I could play sitting down or standing up. I always find myself standing up though. Always. But
I mean, you get a bit longer reach, but I played like during development, especially before we went into quarantine and all had to go home. Like I would play sitting down in my office chair. That's how I played most of my sessions in this game during development. And then lately, like now, since I work from home, I work in my living room, and then I can just take a few steps and I can stand up in the living room and have a bit more, so I don't bounce into stuff. But yeah, that's great. And
I appreciate it so much because that's another game that I'm able to play with the producer, Jason.
Yeah.
Who set this all up. I'm able to play games with him. And I was a bit concerned at first, but no, he's a trooper, man. He's stuck it out, and we just have a great time. So thank you so much for taking that into consideration when making your game. It means a lot.
Thank you very much.
It means a lot. And I appreciate it. Let's see, I think are there, I have one more thing. Are there any tips that you can give us for the game?
Yeah, I mean for like a new player or?
Well, yeah, just in general, like, any tips to get that copper stove,
No, but I think overall, like, I think there are some strategies in the game that really help, and one of them is, of course, to communicate with the other players and tell them what you're doing and what you expect them to do, and not be scared of like barking orders a bit. Find your inner Gordon Ramsay, pretty much. Although you don't have to be that mean.
Love it.
So that's one thing, and then there's the other thing, and that's whenever you look at the board and there's nothing you can do, there's always something you can do, right? You can help someone else, you can grill something, you can do to wash up, or you can just make sure that the people that are like at the bottlenecks at the moment, that they are aware that they are bottlenecks and try to steer them into doing the right thing, right? So that's one thing.
Yeah, that's true, because we can grab food from the other
you can also, that's at least when we've been playtesting in the team, that's a bit frowned upon, to steal from others' fridges. But yeah, I mean, it's possible, and sometimes I think it's a great strategy, but can also be a bit annoying when it's like, I was just getting onions, why are you stealing my onions? Yeah. So that's of course, but yeah, that you can do. But you can also like just lift your eyes for a moment and like look around and see where you can help. Another thing is each level has like a star goal, 3 star goals actually, and as soon as you clear one of those, for instance, a lot of them are about perfection, like serve 8 perfect sandwiches or serve 3. But on some levels, perfection doesn't count at all. So on those levels, you just toss stuff onto those plates. Like there's no need to be neat at all, right?
Right. Just put them on.
So that's one of the things I see in beginner players. They tend to like always try to make it perfect, but there's no need for that.
Fantastic. I'm taking it with me. Because I didn't realize, I didn't even think about the fact that if they aren't perfect sandwiches on that level, just throw them on there. But, you know, got to get those 3 stars, got to have those perfect sandwiches in this game.
Yeah, but sometimes speed is more important than perfection, right? Just get as much out as possible. So, and then another thing actually is you can actually toss ingredients, right? You will of course do it with less precision, but you can toss something from across.
Yes.
To the other side of the table, pretty much. As long as you hit the plate, it's fine. It will stick on there.
I toss bread on the plate.
Yeah.
Yep. I've
there
done
is
that.
Though, like the ultimate move is to toss something and it actually lands perfectly. That's very satisfying. So
we should get like the star just for that, and my copper stove. I will get it.
And then there's also the potions. Actually, the game has been balanced for using the potions. So there are some levels where they really do help, and the game is designed to actually use those. So mind your potions and have a bit of a discussion before inside the team, like who's taking what, so you don't end up with like double. Everyone brings a dishwasher potion, although you can only use 2 for a round, for instance.
True.
It's one thing. Time potions are all very helpful.
I love the time potions.
I kind of like the tofu as well, because then you don't have to wait for other players, right?
So, Tofu's amazing. I love the tofu. But my default one that I must always have is the chopping one.
Yeah.
The sharpness. The sharpness.
That one is potion. Nice. The sharpness potion. You just whack it.
Pour that thing on there. Yep. And then I'm ready to go. Yeah. I've met a lot of really good people on there too, by the way, on the multiplayer. And in being a female gamer, I've run into a lot of female gamers, and it's so much fun, you know? So, it's a good time. Gustav, is there anything else you would like to speak about today?
Not really. Like, keep your eyes peeled for a cookout updates, and also for Resolution's upcoming title Blast On that's launching in a few weeks. We're really excited about that one as well.
Yes, I will definitely be doing all of that and above. Thank you, Gustav, for joining us again today. I truly do appreciate it. Absolute pleasure and a blast, and I can't wait to get back onto the game again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oh, you're very welcome.
And thanks for the apron as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're very welcome. Yep. We'll have to meet up again and play. Totally. And thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned for another episode of the Dev Chats. I'm Creeper Betty signing out.